Snake a chance to.
Yeah, and again, for the umpteenth time, he's evaded.
How are you, Darth? How are you finding out how to unmute yourself? Okay, so basically, we're gonna give Snake a chance to ask a question now. So, Snake, if you want to ask a question, the floor is all yours.
Yeah. So to answer your question, we can observe that it happens. We can calculate that it happens, and the fact that the way things work, what things are, they can interact with each other, and their interactions cause different states of being. And
That's
so
not an answer to my question.
I would like to know. Yes, it is. It absolutely
is. No, it is not.
In all
well, you're just stating what is. You're not telling me what instantiates
let's
it.
Let's give him a chance to ask his question. So, Snake.
Wow, I mean, are you this obtuse? That doesn't tell me what instantiates it.
It breaks your script, so you're freaking out
it's not
a
script. No, it's not a script.
It is. I've heard this script 1,000 times in all of your
I'm irritated because you're obnoxious, you're rude, and you're evasive.
Dunkin,
I want to know what
Dunkin,
instantiates the causal principle. All you're just simply telling me that it is. It's a brute fact.
You have to give him a chance to ask a question. So we're gonna give Snake a chance.
At some point, you're going to have to say it just is what it is. And you say that with God. And when I say...
Is that what you're saying?
At some point, you kind of have to. At least from...
we don't
have complete knowledge. So my approach, as I've been trying to get to, is I actually assume that... Well, for that approach, I don't assume as coarse that there is a God. But when I'm exploring these concepts, how do we know X is this, or how do we know that there's a causality? How do we know that we're not just hallucinating at all? How do we know anything exists? Well, that one's pretty easy to answer. But I go, so how would it work if there was a God? Everything would still have the same answers if there was a God. Things have to work the way that they work, and God has to work in a certain way because God's nature is limited to a certain way. I am wondering what is limiting God's nature to work in that certain way, and that's all I'm talking about. And we can explore that together, but you can't explore that because you have to assume that God is in charge, is above all of that, and is not caused by that. So you're incapable of actually answering the question.
Yeah, that was absolutely disaster. If you actually studied a little bit theology, you wouldn't make such a mess. Are you familiar with the concept of immutability in God's nature?
Well, we'll give you a chance.
Have you ever heard of immutability? I'm answering him.
Wait,
are you familiar with the concept of God's immutability of nature?
Assume that for the sake of the audience that he doesn't know what it is. Just explain it for us, and then we'll.
No, he doesn't. Do you understand what the immutability of God's nature is?
You already asked him. He already said no. So now.
Good. Do you have an answer?
No, I said yeah.
What is it?
Immutability of God's nature, as I understand it, would be that God's nature does not change, that it is primary, and that it is fundamental, and it doesn't change. Is that...
All right, fine. What is it that is immutable and eternal and ultimate that instantiates anything ontologically? Telling me the laws of logic.
Just another question. So we are going to go into Q&A. So thanks so much.
So James, next time, you know what?
Can I ask one more question?
I may not show up again if you invite me, unless you get me better interlocutors instead of people that just constantly dodge and evade my questions.
Snake is sitting right here. How could you say that?
No, he's been entirely obnoxious and evasive the entire time, as bad as the last two interlocutors that I've had.
The irony. So can I ask one more question, if that's okay?
Sure. I'll give you the same answer you gave me. The laws of logic, laws of logic, laws of logic, laws of logic. It just is. It just is.
That's not what I've said at all.
That's exactly what you said.
You may have cut me off before I finished my thought.
You didn't tell me that the laws of logic are metaphysically primary and are the ground of all being.
So you may have cut me off and you didn't get my full answer.
You didn't say that?
So my question is, going along with your immutability, can God change his nature? No. Can God change the equation 2 + 2 = 4?
God is the source of all possibility and impossibility. Okay. And
Why
so,
are things the way they are?
okay,
Why is God's nature that way?
I'm answering you. Do you want an answer?
You're not answering.
You know what? You are one of the most obnoxious and rude individuals I've had the displeasure of interacting with.
All right, let's see. We're gonna go.
That's a compliment coming from you, man.
I'm attempting to answer I'm attempting to answer the question. Okay.
We're gonna go to Q&A.
Whatever is possible or impossible will be instituted and demarcated for God. 2 + 2.
Let's see.
I'm answering his question, James. I'm answering his questions. Are you going to stop me from answering his questions?
As long as you don't answer it with a question.
James, listen, I'm really getting irritated with you.
I wouldn't have guessed.
Now,
okay, so
2 + 2 are abstract. Okay, the number 2, when we talk about mathematics are abstract objects. Are you aware of that, Snake?
They're not objects.
Okay,
they follow
Snake,
rules.
Okay, all right, Snake,
let me
listen
answer.
to
Let
me.
me answer. Let me answer.
I asked you I'll repeat the question. No. Are you aware?
Okay,
are you aware that numbers and the relationship to numbers are abstract objects?
I said that your answer could not be a question, so we do have to go to the actual Q&A.
All right, yeah, James. Unless you can secure for me an interlocutor who's going to debate with me like an adult, I won't be back again, James.
All right.
Yeah, you can giggle like the Girl Scout all you want.
Thank you, Matra J Disco, for your super chat. They said, congrats, Darth, on getting Corona big plus. Oh, come on, Matra. Darth's a nice guy.
Yeah, hey, James, make this fast because I'm irritated not only with this rude, evasive little punk. I'm irritated with you as well.
It's good for you.
Yeah, make this fast.
It's better if you point your anger at me. Snake he's been.
Yeah, well, didn't I ask you the last time we talked? I said, get me a serious interlocutor instead of these people who are going to be rude, obnoxious, and evasive. Do you remember that conversation, James?
I think you said.
You remember that conversation?
You were like, I want to debate Snake was right now, and I was like, I'll see what I can do.
Excuse me, I did not ask you that. You were the one who contacted me, and you said, "Oh, Snake is right. It will be." You were the one who sent it to me.
You're just so. Is this? I can't believe.
Are you telling me that I requested to debate Snake?
You were like, I desperately want to debate Snake was right. And
where did you get that from? Okay. Where did you get that from? You didn't get that from any DM from me.
I made that up. Okay, next up.
Okay, so you're lying. Well, hold on a second. So you're lying to the YouTube audience right now, James?
No,
I think we broke him.
I'm giving you crap, Duncan. I'm teasing you.
Okay,
Duncan.
yeah, and you know what? This is what a crappy performance you're delivering as a host and as a moderator.
Ah, jeez, Duncan, I'm sitting right here. Come on.
Well, I don't appreciate when you lie to me about the YouTube audience and then you start giggling and saying it's a joke.
We'll miss you, Duncan.
Listen, we love you, Duncan. Everybody loves you here. Next up, thanks for your super chat from Nella Dower, who says, Duncan is cringy transphobe, your final form.
Yeah, make this fast before I close out this window, James.
Oh, Duncan, don't leave. Okay.
I'm really irritated with you.
No, we're friends. Okay, Steven Steen, thanks for your super chat. They said Trump 1010 COVID response. Says that Trump received a
James,
10 out of
did
10.
you when I ask you, James? No, I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question. So the whole YouTube audience.
I hate to mute you. Listen, it's just a question about. It's a super chat mentioning.
No. Did you inquire of Snake? Did you tell him that I want?
Listen, Duncan, you're so sassy. Just always have to have all the attention. Steven Steen said Trump.
No. Hey, James. Again, you've been a crappy moderator. Thank you for wasting.
Duncan, why are you so angry? Oh, Duncan! No! Duncan! Are you there, Duncan? I think we lost Duncan. Okay.
We broke him.
Duncan, man. I don't know what to do. Duncan, is he just hiding? I don't know. Okay, so I didn't expect that. It appears Duncan left. We got no hard feelings for him. If you're watching right now, you probably noticed the pictures scrambled and Dunkin disappeared. Dunkin rage quit, but I can't help it. Sometimes it's just funny. So basically, I hope he's doing well. I have no hard feelings. It was just one super chat about Trump, and he just wouldn't let it be read. So anyway, it's been a fun debate. I don't know if Duncan's ever going to come back, but I tried. You try to keep everybody happy, and that's what you get. But so Snake, thanks for hanging out with us. I can ask questions toward you, Snake, if you can do me a favor. I know that it's hard because Duncan, while he was here, was indeed throwing his poop at you. So he was saying a lot. He was talking a lot of smack. But if you can do me a favor, we can ask you questions from the audience that are for you. If you can do me a favor, just because once we got in trouble where one of the people who was not here was talked about during that Q&A, and so they were like, hey, I wasn't even there to defend myself. What the heck, James? And I was like, yeah, that's actually fair. Like, if you're not here to defend yourself, we will try to not talk about the person. So if you can resist the temptation to talk about Darth, that helps, because even though Darth was, some might say he was unfair to you or I tonight, we don't, no reason to, like, return it. So Steven Steen, thanks for your super chat, who says Trump had a 10 out of 10 for the coronavirus response, according to Marcus Dresden. Well, Marcus, we're glad you approve of Donald Trump. That's good. Monster J Disco, thanks for your super chat. They said, Darth, you're a... Oh, let's see. Yeah, that one's like, we wouldn't be able to... Some of these, if they're about Duncan, we might not actually say it, just because we, like I said...
Well, can we, if they're like maybe about his arguments?
Yeah, I think that's fine. Brandon Ardeline, thanks for your super chat. It says, yep, that's another one. Let's see. Duke Davidson, I see. Thanks for your super chat. They said, I know modern day debate takes no positions, but Darth is objectively, he's not fair to you. After his temper tantrum against, this is what the super chat says. After his temper tantrum against James' last debate, how can modern day debate continue to platform someone so obviously someone like that? Yeah, I mean, I usually just laugh because I don't really care what, it doesn't bother me if people are like, oh, you're James, you suck. You're moderating so bad. And so we have him back because we're kind of like, well, I'm not going to let a personal tiff between me and somebody else, like, stop me from having him on. But I get what you mean, where it's like, tried to bring some order tonight, and Duncan is no longer with us. So, Stupid Whore Energy, thanks for your super chat, says, how does Darth deal with violations of cause and effect as shown in the Stern-Gerlach experiment? That's a good question. I could try to impersonate Duncan and answer it. No, I'm just kidding. I've only got a couple. Thanks for your super chat, though. John Rapp responds to Michael Dresden saying, you were wrong twice in one comment. Gotcha. Let's see. Stupid Whore Energy, thanks for your super chat, says, does Duncan realize that his God is a brute fact, according to his view? I don't know. We'll have to ask him that. Maybe he'll come back. The Undead Christian, thanks for your super chat. This one's for you, Snake. They said, yes. You say you believe in evolution, but if evolution is a part of nature, what created nature? If you don't know, why rule out God as a possible answer?
Well, my main point is, I don't rule out God. You need to rule in the possibility of God, first of all. It's kind of ruled out by default. What creates nature is, I think it all stems from the fact that nothingness is impossible, and so something has to exist, and that somethingness has to obey the rules of basically, well, it has to avoid contradicting its own behavior, basically. And everything else between is basically what's possible. And so I think from that you can get basic matter, and the interactions between basic matter creates nature.
Gotcha. Thanks for that. Next up, appreciate your super chat from Stupid Whore Energy, who says, why is there something rather than James? Is that supposed to mean I'm like nothing? How dare you? Stupid Whore Energy also says, James is harassing me in the DMs, telling me and I'm telling DMs, I'm telling Nickelback his favorite band. You should tell Chad Kroger. We are like on good terms, Chad and I. Wouldn't it be cool? What if because for the channel, like we could try to buy the rights to a song so that we could play it without YouTube coming after us. Should we get a Nickelback song for that? Like as the channel theme song? Let me know your thoughts, folks. John Rapp, thanks for your super chat. They said, there is no necessary metaphysical primary needed. Gotcha. I think that's... Yeah, that was for Darth. Let's see. Labser, thanks for your super chat. They said, Snake, explain how logic denies nothingness.
Basically, if nothingness was the state of the universe, then we would still be in a state of nothingness, because you can't get a something from a nothing, because a something must come from something else, and it can't just pop out of nowhere for no reason. Otherwise, that means that there is something interacting out there, and therefore nothingness is not there. So the fact that there is something means that there never was nothing. If that doesn't make grammatical sense, but I think we know what that means.
Gotcha. Thanks so much. Let's see. Appreciate it. Next up, Labser, thanks for your super chat. Let's see. They said, Darth, why is it that Jews and prophets don't believe in the Trinity? I don't know what they mean by prophets. Maybe they mean the Jewish prophets from the Old Testament. I'm not sure. But let's see. Cajun Crustacean, thanks for your super chat. They asked if someone can get Darth a pacifier to stop his crying. Well, let's see. We love Darth. Darth, if you're listening, Darth, you're listening. I don't know if you're listening right now, but we love you. I didn't think you were crying. I thought you were angry, but not crying. So I'm defending you. What's up? Thanks for your super chat from Sexy Calzone. It's just another throwing poop at Darth. Cygart, thanks for your super chat, who said, Snake, how do you explain the origin of the universe if something cannot come from nothing?
Well, something just is what has to have always been, because absolute nothingness is just logically incoherent, and so the only other option is that there is something, and that's how I understand it. I don't know of any like specific science that would say that, but that is how I understand it, and it seems to be true to me. It would keep me up at night a lot of times, where I would be like, so why is there anything and not nothing? And that basically answered the question for me. It's like, because there's something about absolute nothingness that just cannot be. And so the only other option is that there is something. And we still don't really know how to explain that. But the way that I was trying to kind of get at with this debate was, so let's assume for a second.
Are we online still?
Dunkin, are you back?
Can I?
Yeah. Are we still on live?
Dunkin, we missed you.
I said, are we still on YouTube?
Yes, we're still on air.
Okay. Yeah, you are the worst moderator.
Okay.
And you lied to me.
Great. Here we go. Thank you for that, Dunkin.
Yeah, you're a terrible.
All right, let's see. Oh, you. I'm sorry, but that Darth. Oh man, he's relentless. Oh man, that's good. I appreciate the encouragement, Duncan. Let's see. Go ahead. I think you were answering one yet, Snake.
I'll say you're a pretty good moderator, James.
Thank
just for
you.
the record.
Appreciate that.
What I was trying to get at with this debate was, I will actually assume that there is a God in a lot of my thought experiments about this, and I'll go, okay, so if God was the origin of all that is, does that make sense? And I can't make that make sense, even if I assume that there is a God. So what makes sense to me is that there is something else that is causing God's existence, just assuming that he exists, and causing God's nature to assume a certain form and causing God to follow a set of rules. And to me, whatever is doing that would be possible in a state of nature without a God anyway. And so even if I can't explain every minute detail of it, it's the same under any coherent God model. And so yeah, if that makes any sense.
Gotcha. Thanks so much. Sorry. I was just laughing at you. Were the worst moderator ever.
I can't believe he's more mad at you.
I think he is. But you know what? We love you, Darth. You must be listening, Darth. Let's see. Thanks for that. Josiah Hansen, thanks. We got your super chat. They said your brain on presuppositional apologetics, and then the egg in the frying pan emoji. I think a reference to the old public service announcement ads that you would see on TV. Your brain on drugs. Apparently, they're not a fan of presup. Brandon Ardeline, thanks for your super chat. They said, "This, ladies and gentlemen, is theism's champion." I don't know if that would be agreed upon by everyone, but Stupid or Energy, thanks for your super chat, who said EMK. I don't know what that means. Taylor, you're young and hip. You know like what this means.
What was it?
EM as in Marjorie, and then K as in Coons, or I don't know, something else other than my last name, Kite.
I don't know. I'm kind of actually, I know some of the memes. I'm like in the internet culture for people who are out of it, but people who are into the internet culture, I'm the one who's out of it, so I don't even know.
Gotcha. I think so. EMK, email my kangaroo. I don't know. She's weird. Thanks for that, Sarah. Always keeping us on our toes. Brandon, let's see. Aisha Miles, thanks for your super chat. Apparently they're Satanists. They say, "Hail Satan." James smoked all of the Lucky Charms. I probably do seem like I'm high tonight. I'm not on drugs. It's because I'm not on caffeine. I don't have any caffeine in me, and I'm super like weird today. Because I usually honestly take probably too much caffeine, like 600, 700 milligrams a day. So it's like 6 or 7 cups of coffee. But today's like one day that I didn't have a ton. Thanks for your super chat from Timothy Bryce. They said, "Let Darth Dawkins go now, James. He's even calling you out now. He's insatiable and controlling." And then they said some other stuff that's more critical. I'll debate him for fun. Wait, I thought you said just not to have him on again. Let's see. He's certainly insatiable in the sense that he is persistent, and we appreciate his passion. I don't know if he does like to kind of lead the conversation. So I don't know. I don't know if I'd go as far as controlling, but he definitely does seem to enjoy. That's his style, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But BL and K, thanks for your super chat. They said, "DD, what is your favorite comedy movie?" And now we'll here. Tonight was crazy. Dunkin used to like actually listen, but tonight it was just like, dude, you're not even listening to me. Jamie Russell, thanks for your super chat. "Respect the moderator. Show some charity for the sake of the gospel, man. The Prince of Preachers was a 4-pointer. You must be a 5+. May God's face shine upon you." I don't know what. So like just like lingo I'm not familiar with. The Prince of Preachers. I know that's probably referring to Jesus. It says was a 4-pointer. they mean Calvinist? Because that's usually what I think of as like 4-point versus 5-point. They say you must be a +5. So I don't know. But thanks for your super chat from Labzer, who said, "Who would you debate, Duncan? T-Jump, Ang Street." Candida Kennedy Reed, thanks for your super chat. They said, "Hi, Duncan. They say you can't give the evidence that God exists. Well, Duncan, we wish you wouldn't have left. We love you, Duncan." General Ballsack, thanks for your super chat. They said, "I think Snake is right. Needs a serious..." Let's see. A lot of these are quite hard on Duncan. Trio Monkey 666, thanks for your super chat. They said, "Why does..." Yep, that's another one. John Rapp, thanks for your super chat. They said, "Hope the door hits you on the A, on the butt, on the way out. We hope you're doing well, Duncan." And Cajun Crustacean, thanks for your super chat, who said, "Duncan is..." Let's see. Nope, that's another one. Then Gannon Truman, thanks for your super chat. They said, "What was Duncan's announcement?" It was like some sort of satire of him being part of... Oh gosh, we're probably going to get demonetized because he mentioned like controversial terms, but he wasn't doing it in any serious way. He was like doing a satire of saying, I don't know. It's at the start of the debate. Stupid Whore Energy, thanks for your super chat. Snake, are you aware that the sum of all matter and energy in the universe is 0? Perhaps our definition of nothing needs to be updated, freak. I added the last part in.
Yeah, I think that usage of nothingness is acceptable in like the scientific sense, but in the sense that I'm talking about absolute nothingness, you can unpack that, and there's something inside of that 0 quantity, and so I wouldn't describe that as absolute nothingness, but
Gotcha.
like Lawrence Krauss uses it. That's a coherent usage of it.
Gotcha. Let's see. 1 second reading. Oh, okay. So Genius Tracks and some others, and Brian Stevens said that EMK did not mean email my kangaroo. It was a moderator that Duncan had like in the past said was also the worst moderator ever. Do me a favor. Where is it? Marcus Dresden, why are you... I'm calling you out. I'm coming hard on you. They said, Joey, you're kind of pushing the envelope. It looks like you're coming at people pretty hard. That's why you're getting flack from the moderators. We usually only go after hate speech. So I'd say, like, yeah, you keep talking about asking if people are GAY, and I think people are taking that as if you're using GAY as a put down. So, yeah, because Joey, if you take it easy. So, also though, Marcus Dresden, not Michael. The guy's a troll. Marcus, if you can do me a favor and take it easy on some of the people. Sometimes you are quite hard on people as well, and I'm not trying to call you a hypocrite. These are two different things. So, but just want to ask if you could do that, because recently a guest was like, "Yeah, James, I don't know if I want to come back on because that Marcus Dresden is like one of the most like." Long story short, Marcus, work with me. Let's see. Thanks for your super chat from Anamorphic Mind. Said, "Wow, Stevenstein wins another debate. How does he do it?" I don't know how he does it. That's a good question. Let's see. Next up, Always Learning. Thanks for your super chat. They said, "Just for being the best mod ever." That's really nice of you. I appreciate that. It's encouraging. James Anderson, thanks for your super chat. They said, if being a Christian means that I'll eventually turn into a delusional guy like Darth, then no thanks. Let's see. Yeah, that one. Okay, I shouldn't have read that one. But let's see. Cy Gart is Christian, and he's in the live chat right now by coincidence. Really pleasant fellow, and Dr. Gart is a very kind person, so very well liked. So you get to know him. Hopefully that'll give you a balance out any sort of...
I'm honored that he's even paying attention to me.
Yes, very pleasant fellow, well liked. And let me just quick. Thanks for your super chat from James Anderson. Oh, no, we read that already. That's embarrassing. Okay. Stupid or Energy says, the evidence-based definition of nothing is potentiality. What do you think of them apples, Snake?
What is potentiality? Sorry.
Well, the way in philosophy that I remember it, but I don't know if she means it this way in cosmology, would be like just the potential for something, but you don't actually have something.
Oh, no, I mean, I know what it means, but what was the first part of the chat?
She said the evidence-based definition of nothing is potentiality.
Oh, well, like I said, I mean, I'm okay with the scientific usages of that, of nothing, but that's why I always stipulate absolute nothingness as like it has no potential to do anything. It just is the absence of all potentials, all anything. That's what I'm saying is not a coherent concept.
Gotcha. Thanks for that. And let's see. Next up, appreciate your super chat. This one is from, let's see, Timothy Bryce, who says, I'd love to debate here, novice, but I would love to try. Well, we are totally open to it, Timothy. If you email me, we can try to get you connected for a debate. Athena, goddess of wisdom and warfare, thanks for your super chat, who says, EMK was someone who used to run streams. Gotcha. This must be before my time. I was like kind of fell out of it for a while. Stupid Horde Energy, thanks for your super chat, who says, Duncan, as an atheist, I hope you come back. I'm crying right now. Please come back. So you got one fan out there, Duncan. Just kidding. You got many fans, Duncan. We love it. It's like, what are you going to do? All right. John Rapp, thanks for your super chat, who said, well done, Snake. Thumbs up. You have a fan out there, Snake.
Thank you.
Next
up, one fan.
Lee Labser, thanks for your super chat, who said, how would you rate your moderation skills, James? Thanks. That's a fun question. I would say that moderating, in my opinion, always is contextual, so that, you know, like, for example, like Steve McRae and I, we differ in our styles, and he's more involved, and I don't think that's bad. I think it's all about your purpose and what you want from the format. I am definitely more laissez-faire. I think that sometimes I'm probably, you know, slanted or unfair in one way or the other. I think sometimes you guys want.
So what do you guys think of this moderator James's moderation? Did he do a fair job? Could he have done anything different with the dastardly devil Darth Dawkins? Could he have done anything different there, do you think? I'm not so sure he could have, but he got a good laugh, just like we all did, which is pretty cool. So as you might have seen on the screen, I'm using Discord this time to communicate, to have an open room. I'm gonna ditch that Jitsi for now. It causes too many problems. So I'm not saying that Discord won't cause any problems, but I'm just more confident with Discord. So link at the top. Don't worry, you can join anytime. I'm gonna let this this clip, which has 10 minutes left to go, I'm gonna let it play out, unless we get a we get a good conversation going within the next 10 minutes. Okay.
I want to hear, this is actually probably good for you to know, because it's the things that are difficult for me where I'm like, ooh, that might make me a little biased. One is obviously my own worldview, or my confirmation bias that just everybody will have. Any moderator would have that. But so, you know, you might interpret things, you might be a little bit more lenient toward people on your own side. I don't know if that's true. I try to, the challenge is I try to compensate for it by being, if anything, I try to err on the side of being a little, like, 1% tougher on my side, just because, but then, you know, I worry a little bit like, ooh, am I being too tough on my own side because I'm trying to compensate for my bias? So I'm actually, you know, falling off the other side of the horse now. Another thing, though, to be honest, is if we have a huge YouTuber. So, like, when we had, you know, if we have somebody with, like, 100,000, 300,000 subs, I feel a little, like, nervous, or I'm like, oh, we'd love for them to come back, because, you know, it's fun to have new people, and obviously they're popular if they have that many subs, so people usually enjoy listening. But my my nervousness comes from, I'm like, ooh, you know, I want to be fair to them, but I feel like subconsciously I have a desire to almost cater to them because I want them to come back. And so I have to try to control for that subconscious like desire and be tough on them, even if they're, you know, a superstar or something. So anyway, thanks for listening. But you guys can hold me accountable. If you ever notice, if you're like, hey, James, I know, like, yeah, sometimes I get irritated and I tell you to shut up, but I'll never hide you or block you or something. Sometimes I will. Sometimes I think sometimes people are crybabies about how the moderating is done. It's like, go ahead, start your own channel. I don't care. This is the way we do it. It's the way I do it. And sometimes though, somebody's like, you know, they give me feedback and I'm like, you're totally right. Thanks so much. I think it helps a lot if people say it in a friendly way. Sometimes they like say it to me like as if they're like my boss, and I'm like, that's like not how this works. Like, and that where I would say worse than a boss. I've never had a bad boss. Surprisingly, it's been great. But 223 Mr. Awesome, thanks for your super chat. They said, shut up, James. You're over talking me, and I'm going to server mute you. That's true. It's a good time. Duncan, we miss you. I wish we could play like a song for Duncan. Foolish or Foolish, thanks for your sweet super chat. They said, set Duncan up with Destiny. Well, Duncan's probably not coming back for a long time, if ever. And 2, I don't know if Destiny, well, I mean, we could ask Destiny, he'd probably be willing to, but he's already debated Duncan on, I think, his own channel. So let's see. Thanks for your guys' kind words in the live chat. I'm watching and reading. That's nice of you, Brian Stevens. Since I forgot to copy down your question earlier, Brian, so sorry I missed that. He said, I think you can, since he's saying something nice about me, I better read it out loud. He says, I think you handled it well tonight. Darth unmuting himself showed how horrid, so thanks for that. Hannah, thanks for your kindness, and I appreciate that. Let's see, the Yado God, thanks for your kindness. And yeah, it's funny. But yeah, so this is always, it's so interesting to hear your guys' thoughts. I love reading in the live chat. Is this weird? Forgive me. Any thoughts though from tonight, Snake?
Without going too much into Duncan, I would have liked to just discuss more what the concept of God actually solves for the problems of like the origin of the universe, because I don't know everything. I can't explain everything. There are some brute facts, there are some unexplained things, and I just don't think that God explains them, and that's what I wanted to get to. But I mean, the tactic is just to kind of avoid that. But
gotcha. Well, thank you. Want to let you know, folks, as promised, I'll keep that promise to Duncan. His link is still in the description, and Snake Was Right's link is in the description. So if you've enjoyed it, that's an option for you to check those out, as I've put those links down there for people like you who might enjoy that. And Snake, that's an epic replica stormtrooper you have in the background.
Oh, thanks.
That's, wow, really great.
Oh,
I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
It is my prized possession.
It's really cool.
Thank you. I got it from the company Anovos, and then it's like pre-formed, but I had to cut it all out and rig it up and put it together.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's rad. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, for real. Let's see. Gosh, you guys in the chat. Your characters. Let's see. Yeah, in the chat, any thoughts? Amy Newman got your message in the live chat. We would love to see if we can get you set up for a debate. Thanks for hanging out here. Could be a lot of fun. Let's see. Anybody in the live chat, any feedback? I know that sometimes I come off, I don't know if you guys can tell, I sometimes like seem cranky, and I'm like, just like, shut up, you're a crybaby. So I do want people to feel, what's the word I'm looking for? I want people to feel like they can offer constructive criticism and I haven't done a great job of that recently, of welcoming it. I think usually if it's friendly I am, but sometimes like I've got to think about like how can I be more patient when people are like, screw you, James. Oh, Lucifer Almighty, if you refresh, let me see. Okay, I just saved. Thanks. So now if you guys refresh your page, those links are in the description. So, but yeah, any feedback for the channel, how we can improve, would love to hear it. I'm keeping an eye. Let's see. Thanks for your kind words, Pizza Person, Peppers, and Brad. And Labser, yes, I will debate again. That would be fun. I am going to release an older debate that I did about a week from today. That was a fun one. It's never been on YouTube before, and it's from 6 years ago. So you'll get to see the young version of me, back when I was like Snake's age. Not really. I'm way old. I'm like, yeah. But it was still 6
I'm
years
immortal.
ago. Yeah. So Carnivorous Ape wants to debate a vegan. Well, we can try for that, Carnivorous Ape. If you've got debate experience, we could maybe get you connected to Ask Yourself. I don't know if he'd be up for it, but it's worth asking. And so let's see. I think Brenda says, James, you should let me debate. I promise, Brenda, if you stop reporting our channel like every 2 seconds, I would be willing to host you again. But when you keep saying that we're like doing these like bad things, when it's like, yeah, I don't think we're that bad, I'm like, come on. So yeah, thanks so much, folks. I'm like so pleasured by just reading the live chat. What are your guys' thoughts? Anything else? I just love this. Phil Bunny wants to debate veganism. So Carnivorous Ape and Phil Bunny, if you guys email me and you CC each other in the email, that makes it easier for me to set up a debate. If you emailed me and I'm behind, I'm so sorry, folks. I'm so behind on emails right now. So, gosh, it's just been a rough one. But for emails, if you want to debate, want to let people know, it makes it so much easier on me because I just do this for fun. Like, it's just kind of like an hour and a half at the end of the day usually.
Thank you, James. Thank you. That was great. The fact that you got somebody as smart as Snake was right, together with somebody as stupid as as Darth Dawkins, and you showed, at least Snake was right, showed how under intelligent Darth Dawkins is. That was worth the whole show. Wesley, hey, Wesley Curry the second, stop spamming. You need to stop spamming. Otherwise I'm going to have to spank you. Spank you. Okay, Wesley. So we're at the tail end of the show. This is the open discussion, open panel room. You're free to join. The link is at the top of this chat that you're typing in. Dude, Wesley, I can't have you spamming, man. Okay? You need to behave yourself every single time you come on my channel. Thank you very much. How long should we give for anyone who wants to join? Yeah, well, I'm not leaving him alone. I would leave him alone if he'd leave me alone. He's spamming the chat room is not leaving me alone. That is harassing me. Don't want that to happen. So now that he's gone, I can take off the slow mode. That's the only reason I put it on. Didn't really work, did it? All right, it's off. No, Wesley Curry II doesn't contribute anything. He contributes gobbledygook. I'd rather him come on and talk than sit there and spam in the chat. All right? That's where I'm at with Buddy Wesley Curry II. So let's talk about what happened if you were watching part 1 of this stream. At one point, my PC went from full-on working to full-on dark stop. It was like the power was pulled, but it wasn't the power. I think some sensor must have been triggered, and it just blew up, or there's too much happening on the CPU. It's old. I need to replace it. I prefer a desktop, be honest with you, than a laptop, because I've always been a desktop kind of person. I don't really like running around too much with a laptop, because I don't really do that. I like to sit in one spot and do my work. So can I assume then, gentlemen, can I assume that nobody's going to join in the chat here? I'll give it a couple of seconds and I will make my assumption. And if nobody joins, then I'll end it. As I usually do. Okay, well, sorry that people can't make it. That's okay. We can do it another time. We can do it tomorrow. Tomorrow's another day. And I do thank you guys for sticking with me, because it was very difficult to deal with the sudden cutting off of of everything without warning in part 1.